Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk to you about the series finale of Gotham Knights. It was called Night of the Owls. Boy, am I bummed that this show is over. Anyway, let me get into this recap. We start the episode with the Knights in lockup, and they're trying to explain to the cops everything that's been happening. But of course, the cops don't believe them, though they shouldn't be getting questioned without representation if they're minors. So that shouldn't have been happening. But anyway, Rebecca has Harvey tied to a chair, which is becoming a habit for him. And she offers him the Electrum serum. Of course, he wants no part of it, but she's also acquired Duella at the hands of her mother and is threatening to kill her unless he turns into Two-Face. Apparently, Turner's parents were assassins who'd been hired to kill Batman but did not succeed, as is explained to Turner by one of the cops. After all of the Knights are put in one cell with Brody, the Talons show up to kill them. Harvey tells Duella that he's going to get her out of the mess they're both in, which has them in a room with a bomb, which Duella is literally chained to, and that he's going to be there for her now that he's got a second chance at life since surviving being shot by Duella, because someone cares about her now, he says. A detective gives the Knights weapons seized from the Batcave at their request, and then releases them on the Talons, and Robin's mother gets to watch Robin kick ass before a Talon runs her through as she's trying to help one of the cops who'd been hurt. Harper, Colin, Stephanie, and Turner go to the 13th floor of Rebecca's building where they find a bomb and realize that there are 7 other ones elsewhere in the city, one of which, of course, is the one that Duella is chained to, and that they're on the 13th floors of all 8 buildings that Alan Wayne designed in an attempt to destroy any and all evidence of her past lives and the court. Duella figures out that the bomb that's about to blow her and Harvey up actually still works as a phone, so she calls Harper, and they talk about having to find a way to disarm the bomb without any of them going off so that Harvey doesn't have to become Two-Face, because even if he does and gets the code to disarm the bomb that he's near, the other bombs will still go off, leaving Duella as a patsy while Rebecca skips town. At the hospital, Carrie's mother regains consciousness and tells her to go help the Knights and the city, even though she's likely going to die while Robin's gone. Harvey says he's going to go ahead and let the other guy out, Two-Face, which Duella doesn't want him to do because she believed him when he said he was going to be there for her and she doesn't want to lose him. But he says, in that case, promise me you'll bring me back. And then he brings out Two-Face. When Turner wants to trust Duella not to save herself and blow up the whole city, now that she's able to disarm the bomb since Harvey did what Rebecca wants, the rest of the team thinks he's crazy until he makes them understand that he's not, and that they should trust her, and they decide to do so. When Rebecca realized that Harvey's become Two-Face, she does in fact remotely enable a disarm button on the phone, and Harvey wants Duella to press it, but she says she can't. Rebecca then returns to the scene of the bomb, as it were, and lets Two-Face out of his restraints. But he then attacks her, and in the fight, she throws acid on him, screwing up half of his face before one of her henchmen drags him away. As Rebecca is taunting Duella, Turner and Carrie show up and take out 2 of her henchmen before Brody takes Rebecca out with an overdose of Electrum. Turner and Duella reconcile. Stephanie reprograms the bombs so that when the one in Wayne Tower goes off, the others won't, and the team escapes the building with 5 minutes left as the Talons are rushing into the building. At the last minute, Turner decides to stay in the building to try to retrieve more of Bruce's journals. Just as Turner's on his way out of the building with the journals, Rebecca manages to get back up and shoot him, and then order the Talons to get him. But just as they're going to, a bunch of French-speaking mercenaries show up to rescue Turner, referring to him as the asset, but the bomb goes off, dropping Wayne Tower to the ground. Carrie's mother recovers, but Carrie doesn't tell her that she used Electrum on her to save her life. Two-Face shows up at Duella's mother's trailer with his coin and uses it to determine her fate, which dictates that she has to die, and he shoots her repeatedly. The Knights try to figure out what they're going to do next, but Duella takes issue with them breaking up the team, and when they remind her that she doesn't care about the people of Gotham, she says no, but Turner did, and I cared about him, and so they all decide to keep fighting, to stay together and continue being the Gotham Knights. Before the episode ends, we see that Turner is brought to a mansion where the man who ordered his parents to kill Batman, and who also taught Bruce Wayne various things, says he'll teach Turner everything he knows. And that's where the episode and the series ended. And I am beside myself about this show being over. I really am. I think it was so good. And, it's sad to me that other people don't get it and apparently didn't watch it enough to convince the network that it was worth continuing. They did a great job developing these characters. They did a great job developing the relationships. I think they did a great job with the Court of Owls story and the way it played out over the season. I mean, I'm a little confused as to why Rebecca killed everyone on the court and was just going to abandon Gotham and the whole thing. I don't really understand why that occurred, but she's crazy. So from that standpoint, it makes sense. She did a crazy thing. I think they did a great job establishing Two Face. I think there were a lot of great misdirects during the season that turned out to be something other than what we thought. I think they set up a great second season where Harvey would have been the villain, and I'm wicked bummed that we're not going to get to see more of that. More of him as Two Face. I think they were setting up Turner to become, you know, even more of a hero. I don't want to say necessarily Batman, but something similar, and that would have taken place in the second season. They brought some couples together. I think Duella and Turner is a great love story. I think they did a really good job. They tied up all the loose ends of the season, and it was perfectly set up for a second season that would have told a different story. I just really liked this show. And sometimes it comes down to the small moments. A few weeks ago, I think I mentioned how I really liked the scene where Turner and Duella first acknowledge that they have feelings for each other. She's kind of giving him a hard time about being aloof after everybody rallied to save his life. And he's kind of like, yeah, get the hell out of here. And he kind of razzes her a little bit, and she goes, not offended. And he says something else to kind of piss her off. She goes, not offended. And I think maybe it happens one more time. And then he realizes, or he gives in to his feelings for her, and he kisses her. And then he goes, oh, sorry. And she goes, not offended. And they continue kissing. I thought that was brilliant, brilliant stuff. And then in this episode, when the team shows up to rescue her as she's tied to the bomb, there's a moment where she says something to him like, I'm sorry that, I'm sorry for how I behaved or whatever, or causing all this trouble, or that you had to come rescue me. And he goes, not offended. Just, that's brilliant. That's brilliant writing. It shows you that the writers are paying attention to what they're doing. They're not just typing up schlock. They're thinking about these characters. They are creating moments with these characters. And they did it more than once. They did a great job of that with Stephanie and Harper as well. So I think everything came full circle. The way it evolved made sense. I mean, there were moments that I thought were weird during the series, but where everything ended up makes sense. Where everything went made sense to me. I just fell in love with these characters. I really enjoyed this show, and I think it's an absolute travesty that it got canceled and that we're not going to get more. I think it's just terrible. I think the second season was only going to be even better, and I don't know. At this point, I can only hope to see the actors that I liked playing equally great characters in other things. That's the only comforting thought I can have about it. So, goodbye, Gotham Knights. We hardly knew ye, but you live forever in our little bat hearts. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, peace and long life.